Yo, Brody, today we here with another fucking video. We gonna be here reacting to unschooling is the dumbest trend on TikTok. Let's get into this.
Every now and again, there's different trends that pop off on TikTok that have my head scratching a little bit. You know, from the different dances that pop off to the nasty food combinations or even the fashion choices that don't really look good. TikTok is a strange place for trends to come and go, and I can't stress, I want this next one to go faster than ever. There's this new trend of unschooling, and it's gotta be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Day one of unschooling, and I've got my kids helping me to clean the car out, teaching them hard work, taking care of the things that you love, that you need, and also just needed the car clean. Also teaching them how to follow instructions. Now they're gonna go grocery shopping with me, and we're gonna learn about reading labels. We're gonna learn.
Ma'am, that is not called schooling. I don't even know why you're trying to dress it up like that. That's you being a lazy mother and having a dirty car. This is something that TikTok's been talking about for a while now, and I'm a board certified teacher, so I should know about everything that is going on in the teaching sphere.
To be quite honest, I could care less if they pass. I have no faith in these kids.
All right, get out of here.
Thank you.
Well, I had to do some deep diving, some searching. What is unschooling?
What is unschooling? Let's say your child's obsessed with video games, so you teach them computer coding through Microsoft's Minecraft program. Have them study web design, attend virtual coding camps, and get one-on-one tutoring through programs like ID Tech. Have them research local restaurants, specifically restaurants with only Facebook pages. Offer to build them a website. Study graphic design and photography, and after they get 3 restaurants, they'll have a portfolio. They could then approach other restaurants and offer their services at a monthly charge. What happens when they get 10 restaurants? They could live life on their terms by the time they're 18 years old.
I don't think that's how that works. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but I do have a few questions in this whole thing. How do you
I ain't gonna lie, man's selling a dream, you heard? He's selling people a dream. Said, listen, if you don't go to school, focus on straight editing, designing, and whatever he was saying, you're gonna be successful.
Still a sense of structure and procedure in a child where their education is dictated based off of their own personal enjoyment and what their natural interests are, especially when they don't know what their interests are just yet. There's an example of an unschooler on TikTok where she's basically saying, I let my child dictate what we do and how we learn in this household.
So we don't teach our children anything. Everything that they learn is in response to either their interests or their questions. We have no curriculum, we have no school hours. We really just respond whenever they want to know something and do our best to make sure they really get it.
And lady, let me tell you, I have the same fears too. This is a form of unschooling called free schooling, where basically you let kids dictate what they are interested in, they're not interested. The problem that I have with this is America is built on structure. Now, whether you agree with the structure or not, we do have rules, procedures, processes that help create a lifestyle that'll help you in the next area of life. And I get it, a lot of people feel like schooling just creates robots for a machine, the Matrix, etc., whatever you say. But the problem that I have is, even as an entrepreneur, somebody as myself, I still need structure in my day-to-day life to get things done. There's not this concept of, oh, I could just freely, willy-nilly do things. No, I need to set out time. I need to schedule out my life so I can make sure things are done. That's why school is so important. It helps you put 8 hours of your day, set it aside to do this one specific thing, maybe an hour or two when
If I had to go to school, everybody else gotta go to school. How they gonna violate me with school? And then now it's just like, no school, like, so why did I just waste my time? Come on, no.
you get home to do some extra stuff on that, and then you have the rest of your time to be managed. But I think a lot of us, especially the pro procrastinators out there, will be able to relate to what I'm saying. Hey, if given all the time in the world, I won't do anything, even if it's just a simple task. And I get the idea of being forward thinking and not dictating what kids do or don't do. Have them be able to explore life and, you know, just be able to be open-minded to new experiences. But like we can see in some of the rest of this video, how are we supposed to trust that a toddler is going to be able to justify doing math or read or really show deeper interest than just, hey, I want to read this one time and then put it down? Because based off of what she's saying, I'm not impressed with the results of how her child is reading or writing or doing whatever the hell this chicken scratch is.
Comparing myself to other moms, but this is his book. Look at this. Lamp, egg, jar.
Oh my God!
Lion. This is him doing this by himself. copying down words from other places, asking us more. Same with addition. Mom, what's 7 plus 5? It will come at the right time. But if you do not like this idea of sending your kids away for 40 hours a week and then wondering why they have no energy to do anything else, if you are not into your kids conforming, trust that you can follow their interests and they will learn everything they need to learn, not what other people need them to learn. You're welcome.
Now, trust, that was some of the most unimpressive handwriting. She said that that baby was like 6 years old. And mind you, I would have sat back and shut the hell up if what I saw was like pen, ink, you know, feathered, quill, all that stuff, penmanship. I would have fell back and just stopped talking. But what I basically saw was somebody that has no idea how to read nor write. And also, it sounds like you don't know how to teach this child. Your child's asking you what 7 plus 5 is. You don't need to teach them the answer. You need to teach them the process to how to get there. But this idea of being somewhere 40 hours of the week and they come back with no energy, that's because you keep feeding them processed food, chicken nuggets, and sticking them in front of the television, lady. Look, the reason why I got interested in music is because, one, I saw my peers get into orchestra, and two, I got hip to it while being in middle school. I wasn't gonna get that type of experimentation or that type of knowledge outside of the schooling life. I was never gonna pick that up. I had to be exposed to that by other people that weren't in my immediate vicinity. So once my peers started picking up instruments in orchestra, I started picking up instruments in orchestra. And it wasn't just a one-off thing where I could pick it up, play with it for 2 seconds, and put it down because that's no longer where my interest lies because I'm a kid. No, it was something that I had to commit to for a year's time in middle school or I would not be able to participate in it. And then that just became a part of my life.
There's so many comments in my comment section about, well, what if they want to be a doctor or a lawyer? And I think I've already mentioned this before one time already, but like the likelihood of my kids wanting to do something that they don't see that I'm normalizing is very slim. On top of I'm very proactive inside of my profession and my career of being an entrepreneur, they're likely going to follow that path because they're going to see how successful. I'm also going to teach.
I feel like that's her closing her kid's mind. Like, you're not going to share to them that, yeah, you could be a lawyer if you want, and this is what lawyers do, or this, if you want to be a doctor. You basically not going to tell them nothing about that because, you know, I'm not telling them about it. It's least likely they going to care about it, you feel me? But, like, it's like you keeping it forbidden or something.
The right way.
One of my major issues with this is like, why is this needed right now? I feel like there's been this ever-growing moment of distrusting education or any sort of formalities and any sort of procedures and processes. YouTube University has made everybody think that they're some sort of a genius. WebMD has made people think that they're doctors. And the internet is this place where you can spew your opinions as if they are facts without having any sort of evidence, any sort of credibility, or really any knowledge about anything at all other than I can type these words, press enter, and nobody can tell me otherwise. The panoramic was an exact example of what I'm talking about, where people knew way more than the CDC or Dr. Fauci or whatever. And hey, I'm not here to be political. They may have been right in some areas and wrong in some other areas, but at the end of the day, they had a scientific method and a means of studying that a lot of people just don't have. Respectfully, with your oil changing certification at Jiffy Lube, I don't trust you and your opinions on a vaccination more than I can throw you. And I know a lot of influencers and YouTubers have pushed this free thinking movement to the forefront that started with what seemed to be Kanye West with his whole slavery commentary, and then Sneeko, and then those clowns over at Playback.
No, deadass though, there's so many pointless degrees. Your art degree is not taking you nowhere.
It's just the fact that it's the default. It shouldn't be the default.
It is an option.
It should be an option.
You can't pass the bar to become a lawyer without post-secondary education.
That's another thing. I hate this part of the argument where a dumbass nigga be like, oh, well, what if he's a lawyer? Like, of course, the niggas who are lawyers and doctors, of course. We're not talking about them niggas though, bro.
You have an art degree, buddy.
The nigga who has an art degree, the niggas going for film,
Business
the niggas going to business. Those niggas, y'all really do some dig deep and dog, do some soul searching.
I took an
ask yourself, what are you doing, nigga?
I took an entrepreneurship class in my 3rd year, and I had to sit there and really think to myself, what the fuck? Why is this institution teaching me how to work on my own? It was mind-blowing that I was being taught a curriculum on how to work by myself and how to build shit by myself, and it wasn't even useful lessons.
Now, to be fair, in these conversations of whether college is needed and this push against traditional means of education,
So me personally, man, I ain't go to college. I be working, be making videos. Sometimes I wish I went to college, you know, because all my friends went. But then when I think about it, like, damn, what am I going to college for? And the first thing that comes in my head, bitches. Do you know how many girls are in college, university? Like, that's the, what do you mean homework? Homework? No. Do you see how many bitches there is? Do you see how many females there are? I only wanted the females. There's no point in me going.
Naturally, alternatives are going to pop up. But at the very least, I would love to see people get some sort of basic level of education in their lives. Because you got to ask yourself, does unschooling actually fix these problems? Or is this something that parents should already be doing?
7-year-old son, we're riding on the golf cart. We had picked up this nice little chair. We were going to take it home. And then we saw on the side of the road this basketball hoop. And he said, oh my God, Mommy, I want it so bad. And he's about to start basketball too. So it's like freaking literally perfect. And it's on the side of the road, but it looks brand freaking new. So I'm like, I don't know if this is free, Gabe. Like, we needed to kind of make sure that they didn't just lay this down and they're still playing with it. I said, how bad do you want it? He's like, I really want it. I was like, okay, well, listen, you're going to have to go up to the door and knock on the door and ask them if this is for free. Do you want to do that? And he said, yes. I said, okay, cool. So he put his shirt on, he walked up to the door. I went to go walk up behind him. He said, no, go away. I said, okay, that's fine. He knocked on the door. He said, hey, is that a basketball hoop for free? She said, yes, enjoy. And I just taught him so much in such a small amount of time. Being in school all day, every day, takes away those little moments that we're able to have with our kids. Like, if he was with me every day and he did everyday life with me, like if we went to the grocery store and we did gardening and we did baking and cooking and we, did chores and stuff, he's learning so much in these little tiny moments that we just don't get enough of.
Affluent people have no shame at all. First, I'm scared of the fact that she can't even articulate what he learned, which means that putting these things down on paper and having them stick to his memory is probably going to be hard because she can't even reiterate or recite to him, hey, this is what you just learned in that moment and this is why it should stick with you. Second of all, I'm calling him affluent because
the things that kid is learning, if he went to school, he would probably learn it even faster. And he would probably know even more, like how to write and read and do math.
living on the south side of Atlanta, Georgia, I already know the types of people who ride around in golf carts through neighborhoods. Yeah, that already means that you have some sort of money to you. And also asking if this basketball hoop that's put on the curb is for free, well, that's a universal sign for a lot of people. This is trash. Take this. But on a more serious note, stop blaming the public school education system for your shortcomings of a parent. Spend time with your kids. Literally, when your kid gets out of school, you can do all these things. The bell rings, you're waiting for them in the carpool lane, you pick them up. You can go to the grocery store right after that when they get out of band practice. You can literally have them talk to the cashiers. You can have them talk to the person at the door. You can have them ask the grocery attendant all these questions. I know when I was young, I had to do all those things. But the idea that school, traditional school, is this barrier between you and your parenting, or you and you spending more time with your kids, or your kids and learning life lessons, is completely stupid to me. We act like kids don't have adult interaction when they're also in school. If I have a problem with my grade, or if I have a problem with somebody else in class, or if I want to go and do something or get better understanding of that, I'm not just talking to kids all day. No, I'm having to talk to the different administrators or different teachers or different counselors that exist and make up the faculty at my school. And I would even argue that soft skills are like one of the most important life lessons that kids need to learn, young adults need to learn, or just people need to learn in general. They carry so much weight in this world that it is very much understated. But that does not mean that we need to take them out of traditional schooling so you can have your kids vacuuming out your car or going to Aldi's with you at 11:15 in the morning. I'd rather your kid be learning how to calculate the interest rate on something as opposed to figuring out if they can get a rusty basketball hoop out of the neighborhood. And there's even an argument that it's pretty selfish that you are going to do all these things for your child by themselves. I think that's why it's important for them to go through the whole public school education system, which I'm very much fond of, because you get to get different sets of teachers every single year that have different perspectives. But I hate to say this, you are already programmed and you're not always going to have your best interest at heart for your kid. I know you may think so, but you have rose-colored lenses because that is your child, so you're going to try to protect them from certain conversations, talking points, or topics. And hell, you're not even educated on everything because that's not what you went to school for, or let me say got educated for. Now, I will say this to be fair to all the people who are going in the path of unschooling. There has to be some sort of reasoning as to why parents are wanting to listen to their kids more, trying to find a way to modernize the education system and put their child's interests and wants first before maybe necessarily putting them in some sort of a traditional system. And at some point, you're going to need to be an adult and be a parent and accept the fact that you need a village in order to raise a child. That's what parenting really is. Ultimately, to me, going the untraditional route is a very unforeseen territory for a reason. A lot of people don't see success by going down a path that is not commonly taken. And so if we take a bunch of people and push them to go down this route, what will ultimately happen is they won't see a lot of success. A lot of schools, a lot of places still value traditional education. And maybe we can have a conversation about why that's so important, but I can guarantee you, as somebody who just stepped into the corporate life, there is literally maybe 1 or 2 people at my job of 20,000 that doesn't have a degree, but people on the internet keep pushing the idea that, oh, if you get this certification, get that certification. No, people don't value it like that, because a lot of people are missing some of the basic structures and skills when they skirt traditional education to try to cut the line in things. And please don't tell me about being an entrepreneur. That's the last thing I want to hear from these undedicated people. Get that out of here.
Listen, let me know what y'all think of that video, bro. Are these parents bugging with the unschooling? Should kids go to school? Y'all let me know in the comments. I'll see y'all in the next video. Safety.